Hello, my friends. Good morning. Welcome to your daily reading. Let's have a look and see what messages we receive for today. Okay. Let's see what that was. Okay, we've got... the Devil's coming out with the Six of Pentacles. So today, it looks like a day of balancing out giving and receiving and looking at our intentions, looking at our motivations. Why are we giving? Why are we receiving? What's happening here? What's going on beneath the surface with our intentions around our ability to share and our ability to receive? It makes me wonder if there's ulterior motives in our intentions that need examining, that need to be brought out to the light to see. Doing a bit of shadow work when it comes to balance and how much we give of ourselves and how much of others we receive. It's interesting. Sometimes, it can be easier to give than it is to receive. Sometimes it can be easier to receive than it is to give. See the Page of Pentacles coming out with the Four of Wands. So that makes me feel like there's going to be sort of a shift in this energy. There's going to be a shift away from a focus maybe on receiving into giving, or maybe the other way around. But regardless, it feels like gratitude is going to be sort of the focus of this new direction that we're going to hold space for today. The idea that inner peace can come from just feeling grateful, not necessarily having to receive anything, but to just be grateful for what we have now. This is making me feel sort of this idea that being mindful about our inner peace might shift things in terms of our intention when it comes to how much of ourselves we give and how much of others we accept. It's a very interesting vibe right now. Makes me feel like there's more to this for us today to look at, maybe to examine carefully. Perhaps something is going to come up today that's going to put you in a position where you'll have the opportunity to surrender some of that worry about scarcity and a lack of abundance, and that really this idea that do we really need to be in competition with one another? It's interesting, the feelings I'm getting looking at these cards, Four of Wands with the Devil, Six of Pentacles, and the Page of Pentacles. I can't help but feel like this is an invitation to shift our perspective about giving and receiving, and that, that the idea is really rooted in having an inner peace and being grateful for what's happening now instead of wishing and wanting for something. This is bringing up some ideas about manifestation as well. So my cat just came in. The idea of really looking at that shadowy element of ourselves that may have another perspective on the idea of sharing and the idea of gratitude and the idea of abundance and the idea of scarcity. And perhaps there's an opportunity today to have a look at that. Having a look at that today could serve you to really maybe open up some self-discovery that you weren't expecting to look at today. It's very interesting. Okay. Ooh. Okay, let's see what else we got here. 4 more cards. King of Cups, the World card, the Empress, and the Six of Cups. So this is interesting, really seeing this idea here that maybe you're wrapping up some old patterns of sort of not being open and not sharing and not being interested in that reciprocity that works when we engage with others in a very cooperative way. It's interesting. It feels like you're going to get the opportunity to look at something that you may have established in the past. Six of Cups. There may have been a pattern of behavior that you established in the past that you're sort of going to get the opportunity to flip the script on it and it will allow you to open up a whole new chapter where you're sort of feeling less triggered emotionally and less closed off from others. So this is really interesting. This is really painting a picture for me of stepping into a new vibe, one of community, one of sharing without expectation that something will come back, but just sort of giving of the self because it feels good to share wisdom, to share knowledge, to share resources, to share your time. And I'm sort of sensing that this is for, coming at a time where maybe we had established patterns of being isolated. I mean, when you think about what the last 2 years have been like, a lot of us have been quite isolated and away from other people and not necessarily having that direct contact with others. And so it almost feels like today there is this opportunity to disturb some patterns when it comes to giving and receiving, and to really have a look on the inside, on an inner level, to see, well, what is my perspective on that now, and where is that perspective coming from, and what's motivating my intentions here, and really a chance to peel that onion a little bit and have a look. And it sort of feels like it's going to be a new beginning where old patterns are being disturbed because they're no longer serving you, not because there's anything wrong with them, but just that they're, maybe they served you in the past, but they're no longer serving you now. And there's no judgment about that. Just shuffling the cards in my hands, I see that Knight of Pentacles coming up on the bottom of the deck, which really is a time to be grounded in the now. So it feels like we're taking the opportunity to really shift some dynamics when it comes to how we interact with other people and how much of ourselves we give to those relationships. I can't help but think that this is really going to bring in wisdom at different levels for everybody, because depending on where you're coming from and where you're going, there could be an interesting between two worlds sort of transition that you might experience. I want to get you an oracle card before I send you on your way, but not from this deck. Hang on, this deck. Okay, let's see here. Throat chakra. Interesting. Self-expression, bringing about a sense of peace and balance. Exactly. Some of this has to do with self-expression, in that it's not just giving and receiving of resources, time, and energy, but how we communicate with one another, and that the idea that self-expression supports our sense of peace and balance when we're able to express ourselves. So perhaps some of this inner peace that we're seeing with the Four of Wands and this disruption of a pattern has to do with self-expression, in addition to how we engage with other people in terms of an exchange. Perhaps it has to do with self-expression and the words we choose, the intention behind those words, and what motivates us to express ourselves. Is it peace and balance, or is it something else? Perhaps that's why we see the Devil card here, is we're trying to shine some light on patterns of communication, as in addition to how much of ourselves we invest in others. But there definitely seems to be an emphasis today on communication. So you might have the opportunity to be expressive and to question the intention behind that expression. Is it to bring peace and balance, or is it to bring in some other energy? Very interesting. I'm going to leave it at that for you, my friends. We'll see you again tomorrow. Thank you so much for joining me for these daily check-ins for the collective energy. And I'm sending you so much love and light. We'll see you tomorrow.